Rich people get a lot of flack. Doesn't matter how much they donate to charity or spend doing noble pursuits, people will always still be jealous of them because they're rich, and everyone thinks they can spend their money better than everyone around them. Rich people buy rich people things. They make extravagant purchases, and they live large, as they should when they have the means. And in response, all these dirty poor people come out of their rat holes and shake their mud-caked fists in the air going, selfish, out of touch, spoiled, as if they'd still be tootling around in a busted-up Chevrolet if they inherited $11 million. This sounds like I'm anti-poor people, but I'm not. Though I admit I find poor people jokes way funnier than rich people ones, because punching down is less socially acceptable and therefore more appealing. I'm just anti-poor people mentality towards rich people. It's cliche. You spend all your energy despising wealth and wonder why it doesn't want to come hang out with you. Nobody stays poor their whole life if they work smart and know how to manage their money. You've never heard someone say, I did everything right and I'm still poor, unless they're sweeping several debilitating mistakes under the rug. Those mistakes may include alcoholism, drug addiction, gambling problems, massive debt, single parenthood, excess spending, and plenty of other elements nobody wants to admit fall for while they're criticizing society. Accidents and misfortune can play a role too, but I don't want to give most people that excuse. A lot of people are just bad with money, like unacceptably terrible. Either they invest in a bunch of garbage, or they fall for scams, or they don't budget, or they're shopaholics and boozaholics and weedaholics. I don't know how stoners stay off the street. I really don't. Or vapists. I like calling them vapists because it sounds like rapists, and they're both groups of people I'm not okay with. The Game Awards this year kept showing that anti-vaping commercial with the stat that's like, if you vape, you're 4 times more likely to smoke cigarettes. And I'm like, no shit. Because if any smoker catches someone vaping, they're like, what the fuck is this gay shit? Why don't you smoke cigarettes like a cancerous adult? And the vapist is like, okay, I will, because they're dopey and highly susceptible to peer pressure, which is why they're vaping to begin with. The only reason smoking is cool at this point is because it gives you cancer. That actually is why. I don't know why it was when it started, but that's where we are now, because self-harm is like counterculture, man. Doing things that are bad for you is the best way to stick it to your own existence, and if you're constantly sticking it to your own existence, it means you don't care about yourself, and not caring about things like yourself is the hallmark of a cool person. Think of every cool guy stereotype in high school. Everybody was like, man, that guy is so cool, he doesn't even care. Remember when kids started eating Tide Pods? That made them cool. I was gonna make an analogy of kids are so contemptuously jaded they can make drinking bleach seem cool to each other. Then I remembered, oh yeah, they ate fucking Tide Pods already. The bar is at its lowest rung. Kids eat Tide Pods, of course they vape. Of course they took regular smoking and then just diluted it with Kool-Aid flavor packets and went, it's safer. Are you fucking kidding me? What won't they do? I'm waiting for marketers to look at snake venom and go, how can we make this safe for kids? Hey, have you guys heard of this new thing called zoning? You suck it up just like a vape. It's a concentrated mixture of brown recluse spider vomit and poison dart frog sweat, but they mix it with fruit roll-ups and powder trick cereal, so it's safe. Yeah, it's called zoning because it's short for poisoning, but it's FDA approved and everything. I've vaped before. It was fun with a friend. I don't recommend it. Just don't make a habit out of stuff like that, please. It's so unseemly. Special circumstances, whatever, but if you regularly just need to be that, continuing that cycle is never going to break you out of it. I mostly just don't understand the pride. Some people do it and hate themselves when they can't stop, but some people are proud of being drug abusers. They're like, yeah, I smoke weed 3 times a day, every day. Want to fight about it? I'm like, fight? You have no fight in you at all. If you got a tumor the size of a pea, you'd be dead in a week. Your body hasn't done anything on its own in years. Your family would be camped around your hospital bed like, come on, TJ. Every stoner's name is TJ. Come on, TJ, you're a fighter. And TJ's body would be like, I'm a little outside my weight class here. Yes, obviously marijuana has medicinal capabilities, but tolerance is a hell of a double-edged sword in that situation, unless you have half a rainforest of leaf laying around. Or if they don't hate themselves and they're not proud, they might be like, what does it matter, man? Everything's meaningless anyway. Let me tell you a little something about nihilism, as someone who used to mildly subscribe to it. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. Also, you don't really believe that everything's meaningless. It's just a cool thing to say to seem cool if you don't feel like eating Tide Pods instead. And it's so easy. God, it's the easiest shit you could possibly believe. Wow. Nihilism is choosing not to play. It's disenfranchised God mode. It's the fundamental doctrine of missing out. Nihilism is not having a cake and not eating it too. Why would you want to think in a way where cake is pointless? pointless, where everything is pointless. First of all, you fail because you prioritize certain things over others. You do. Everything is meaningless, but I'm gonna have sausage instead of Spam for breakfast because I like sausage more. That ain't meaningless. You pick some foods over others. Why? Because you enjoy them more. Why does that matter? Because you want to maximally enjoy your food. Well, why would you be picky about what enters your body? Because you care about your health and mood. Well, why would you care about your health and mood when everything is meaningless? Because there is meaning to be found in sustaining yourself through long periods of time if you only have the disposition to look. Then you might amend your principle to favor selfishness. Nothing matters, therefore only I matter. But selfishness is inherently counterintuitive because to think only of fulfilling your own wants and needs is to deny yourself all the things that can only be provided through good relationships with other people. Love, companionship, loyalty, kindness, compassion, help. No one can thrive without these things, so the only way to be truly selfish is to be reciprocal to those who can benefit you and benefit them mutually in return. It's also about caring for yourself across time and doing things for prosperity now that won't force you to reap an equal amount of suffering later. Even socially constructed meaning has socially constructed value, and you're partly a social construct too, so it fits together with you anyway. Meaning is just a social construct. So are you, bitch. Introduce yourself. Yeah, biology, all that stuff too. But there's biological meaning to pair with that shit too. Procreation, for instance, furthering the species, continuing the family line. Every aspect of existence has an aspect of meaning to associate with it. It comes in many forms. So I'm sure you can find at least one and use it as a reason not to kill yourself or float through life aimlessly. We're like seahorses going, why do we have these pointless tails? As we're getting swept by water currents, ignoring all the grabbable seaweed that could keep us standing firm against the pressure. Nope, I can't imagine a purpose for these. As you're carried for miles and miles until you're pushed directly into a shark's mouth. Find something to latch onto, lest the currents of life's ocean batter you into oblivion. For me, I find meaning in this stream of consciousness, my channel, and in everything I enjoy doing as a way of enriching my life experience. If you haven't yet found anything that quantifies your existence, widen your search area, though maybe you're just overlooking something that's been right next to you all along. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino. You support the channel on Patreon at patreon.com/sunburnedalbino. I'll see you guys next time.